Okay, good afternoon. This is Fred Burrows with Plumbers, and I'm here doing a leak detection for my elderly customer. And I'm communicating with her daughter up north. I want to make sure everybody understands what's going on. Yesterday, I received a phone call. It was initially reported to me that there was an issue inside the ceiling. There is no issues in the ceiling whatsoever. What happened from talking to her is yesterday there was just water all over this kitchen floor. A neighbor came over, mopped it up. They looked up inside an access panel. This house was repiped, so there are pipes in the ceiling. I'm sorry. They looked up and it was dry in that access panel. I did a leak detection though, and I found that there is a leak inside this block wall, and it is going to be coming from that copper waste arm right there. So that copper waste arm is going to go into the wall this way and to a stack. Unfortunately, there's no room underneath here to work on it. So what it's going to require next is a hole in the block wall on the exterior. And you're going to notice something that I did here. Upon locating this leak, I also noticed the water is coming out of the block wall and it's filling up out here. So when that block wall becomes too full, it not only came out down here and ran on this floor, but it also filled up and came and ran under the cabinets. So quite a bit of water damage potentially here. Right in here, you're going to see there's going to be a vent stack that's going through the roof. Hopefully that's in good shape. Usually on these copper waste arms, what happens is the copper comes out and it comes into the stack. And at that stack, what happens is there's a male adapter in there, all right? And turning that thing, you have to get it to come off. And like I said, there's really not a lot of room without destroying them cabinets to use a demo hammer. So unfortunately, this wall, nice wall out here, will have to get a hole in it. And then you'll have to have somebody who knows what they're doing as far as patching a hole, patch it. But as far as the plumbing goes, the next step is to break a hole right here and expose it. So depending on what we run into, we can go anywhere from our demo hammer minimum with a minor repair at $550 all the way up to sometimes on these waste arms, I've charged as much as $1,000 on top of the leak detection. So it just depends on how hard it is to get to. I think this one will be okay. We also got to hope that the male adapter, so it's going to be a threaded male fitting going into a female fitting that goes up to the stack. We're hoping that's okay because that would cause a lot more destruction if we had to go further replacing the stack. Normally, that's not what you have to do, but it does require that male fitting coming out of the cast iron pipe that's going up and down. All right, that's the vent stack to allow air into this kitchen line, and then it's drainage down below that. So we have to hope that's good. Even worse sometimes on these, if the pipe is bad going under the slab, then that's, you probably want to contact insurance on that. You may want to anyway, depending on the deductible here, just because we don't know about what all damage is underneath these cabinets or anything. They mopped it up and she's used this kitchen sparingly today, so there is no water on the floor. But I certainly, especially if the deductible's not too high, I would do that because I'm going to tell you a couple things that normally go towards your deductible. $300 leak detection that I've done, that usually goes towards your deductible to detect the leak because it limits damage. The second thing is exposing the leak. That usually goes towards the deductible. You have to check with your policy on that, but it normally would go towards it, and that's $550 on the minimum if I'm just going into the wall. It gets higher on a per foot basis if the pipes were bad under the cement slab, but we could stop and say, hey, you can't use the kitchen sink at this point and move on. I think the next step minimally is to break open the wall to expose the leak, take a picture of it, show how it's leaking, especially if we're going through insurance. So the demo hammer minimum on the next part is the next step. Yes, ma'am?
That's supposed to be someplace leak. Because, when I start wash dish, I not even looked at it. But
Yes.
water not warm.
Yes.
So when I see, oh my gosh, water not warm, I've been down all the whole floor.
Yes.
Maybe that can do it in the back. Where is my closet or something?
No, what happened here, your drain pipe for the kitchen is broken.
Yeah, yeah.
The drain for the kitchen.
Yeah,
So anytime you run water in the faucet, that pipe is leaking in that block wall. So that block wall is filling with water, and then it's coming out there by the slider. And if you run it a long time, it'll even come out all over here.
Okay.
So you really want to watch using that. I'm going to send this video link over to your daughter, okay, and have her watch it so they can tell me how to proceed. But right now, you can control the leak. But the way you control it is by not using the kitchen sink, okay?
Okay.
Because quite a bit more work needs to get done, and potentially they may get a hold of your insurance. I don't know. They're going to say the deductible. I'm worried because you had water on this floor. That means that water came from that block wall, and that means water is trapped under the cabinets. So what happens is the cabinets rot at that point. You see what I mean? So normally, and my office can give you a recommendation on people who work with insurance companies if you want to go that route, by the way. I'm going to end this video because it's quite long, and I got to have her daughter listen to this video.